just 2 months after the system went live. After just 8 weeks, a total of 167 bank branches across the length and breadth of South Africa now offer Smart ID replacement services, with more branches going live every single week. Through this new model, the Smart ID application process has been completely digitalized. Gone are the days of spending a whole day in a queue. At these 167 bank branches, it now takes as little as 5 minutes to apply for an ID. No prior bookings are required, no paperwork is needed, and there is no discretion, completely sealing the system off from manipulation and fraud by relying on the power of biometric technology. It is therefore little wonder that within just 8 weeks, a total of 118,434 Smart ID applications have already been processed through this new system for people who are switching from the old green ID book to the Smart ID or replacing a lost ID card. Honorable members, this project holds the key to ensuring that each of the 16 million people who still use the vulnerable green ID book are able to switch to the more secure Smart ID. The Green ID is the most defrauded document on the African continent, and it sits at the heart of financial fraud and identity theft in this country. For the first time, Home Affairs now has a clear roadmap to ensure that every South African is able to switch to a Smart ID, which will enable us to finally end the recognition of the Green ID book as a valid form of identification. Given the astonishing success of this project, we have raised our ambitions accordingly. I can announce today that by the end of 2026, we aim to roll out this service to at least 750 bank branches, extending them into every single corner of South Africa. Over the next few weeks, we will also roll out first-time Smart ID and passport applications through this new secure system. And we will introduce doorstep delivery of IDs and passports for the first time in our country's history. Thanks to our laser focus on digital transformation, South Africans will shortly have the option of having their enabling document securely couriered right to their own doorstep without the need to travel anywhere just to do a collection. Home Affairs at home. Let us now turn to our second flagship, the ETA. Ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit, we rolled out the ETA for tourists from China, India, Mexico, and Indonesia. This new system uses biometric and machine learning technology to enable prospective travelers to apply for a tourist visa on their laptop or smartphone and receive the outcome within 24 hours. The ETA transforms national security, honorable members, by checking 40 different parameters to verify the authenticity of a passport and by using liveness detection to verify a selfie of the applicant against their passport photo. The BMA then uses facial recognition technology once the traveler arrives at the border post to verify their identity and the status of their visa. Once again, this is all done without any scope for discretion or manipulation. Even with the initial rollout limited to just those 4 countries, I can report to this House today that the ETA has already processed over 75,000 applications, resulting in more than 71,000 approvals and nearly 4,500 rejections. I would like us to think about that for a moment. That's almost 4,500 people who were prevented by the ETA from obtaining a visa, who may otherwise have entered our country illegitimately under the old manual and paper-based system. With final technical work currently underway, we will shortly expand the ETA to tourists from many more countries. This will unlock entire new growth markets for our tourism sector, honorable members, in ways that were unimaginable under a manual and paper-based system. Over the remainder of this administration, we will roll out the ETA to cover all visa categories in order to entirely eliminate the space for inefficiency, fraud, and corruption that will indeed make South Africa a world leader. I'm not aware of any other country that has done what we aim to do. Once our rollout of the ETA is complete, it will go down in history as the single most powerful reform ever implemented to secure our immigration system, while enabling legitimate travelers to conveniently obtain visas through their smart device. Home Affairs at home. For our third flagship reform, digital ID, we have recently published draft regulations in terms of the Identification Act. I invite all stakeholders to comment on these draft regulations before the closing date of the 6th of June, so that we can implement an appropriate and fit-for-purpose regulatory framework for this new system, which will enable South Africans to securely access Home Affairs services in the palm of their hand. Home Affairs at home. Honourable Chair, these three flagship reforms are supported by a comprehensive culture change process. This includes a digital training component that is equipping thousands of our officials for the future world of work. At the same time, our crackdown on corruption is gathering pace at an unprecedented rate. Since the start of this administration, the Department of Home Affairs has secured 10 criminal convictions, 14 arrests, and 65 dismissals. The BMA has secured an additional 26 arrests and 34 dismissals. We are now carrying out dismissals, arrests, and convictions on a near weekly basis. Crooked officials are no longer asking whether they will be caught. They are spending all their time wondering when it will be their turn. And my answer to them is simple: sooner than you think. We will not rest until every single corrupt official is swept away by the tide of accountability that is washing over Home Affairs. Our reform drive is also supported by a series of legal and policy breakthroughs. Earlier this year, Cabinet approved the revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection, which will now be converted into a draft bill designed to transform the very foundation of the South African state. Honourable Chair, we indeed look forward to bringing that legislation to the committee. By implementing the revised white paper, we will introduce the first safe country principle to end the practice of asylum seekers picking and choosing South Africa as their destination of choice in the region, while upholding our fundamental constitutional commitments and the rights of legitimate refugees. This legal reform will empower us to reject asylum seekers who deliberately travel through other safe countries with the sole aim of coming only to South Africa. Let me make it clear today that South Africa is not the only safe country in our region, and through the implementation of this new policy, we will no longer tolerate the abuse of our country's migration system. This reform was further bolstered just this past week, when we won a truly landmark case in the Constitutional Court. The court confirmed our position that asylum seekers must not be allowed to submit endless, repeat applications while remaining in the country indefinitely once their original application has been rejected. We will use this judgment from the highest court in the land, in combination with the legislative changes flowing from the revised white paper, to ensure that we ramp up lawful enforcement operations and deportations even more effectively than we have already done. Over the past 2 financial years, Honourable Chair, Home Affairs has carried out nearly 110,000 inland deportations, an increase of 46%. This is in addition to the over 945,000 people that the BMA has prevented from entering into South Africa, either illegally or because they did not have the required documentation since its establishment. In fact, under Operation New Broom that I launched last year, Home Affairs conducted an incredible 10,700 enforcement inspections across the country during the past financial year, overperforming our annual target by 4,000, by more than double. I would invite the House to applaud the team in the back for the incredible work that they are doing. In the last year alone, here's the incredible statistic. In the last year alone, Home Affairs has done more immigration enforcement operations than during the entire 5-year term of the previous administration. Through our unwavering commitment to upholding South Africa's constitution and our immigration laws, we are rapidly restoring the rule of law in a domain where it was eroded over decades. Finally, our reform program is supported by the single biggest investment ever in border infrastructure. Last month, the BMA announced the bidders that have been selected for a 12.5 billion rand public-private partnership to demolish and rebuild our country's 6 busiest land ports of entry. Taken together, our reform agenda is directly enhancing national security, improving the efficiency of service delivery, and repositioning Home Affairs as a powerful economic enabler to create jobs in our country. Through this agenda, we are reforming what was once the most maligned department in all of government into a world leader in modern governance. If ever there was an agenda that called on all of us to put our country over politics, it is this one. We are laying the foundation for a modern and future-fit new South African state that will stand our country in good stead for decades to come in the digital world we now inhabit. I therefore proudly table Budget Vote 5 for Home Affairs before this House. The budget totals 13.8 billion rand for the 2026-27 financial year, 12.8 billion for the next year, and 13.3 billion for 28-29. It includes funding not only for our reform program across the entire ecosystem, but it is also this budget vote that will enable the Independent Electoral Commission to deliver the upcoming local government elections through an additional allocation of 1.1 billion rand. The National Voter Registration Campaign will officially launch on the 27th of May under the message, "Get up, show up, vote." This is preceded by a targeted voter communication and registration campaign that is currently being rolled out across 212 municipalities until the end of this month by the Commission. These are municipalities that have been impacted by ward delimitation and voting district changes. To enhance operational readiness, more than 6,100 field workers have been deployed across the 5 affected provinces to support registration activities and community engagement. We urge all the affected communities to be on the lookout for these field workers and to ensure that their registration is correctly captured. Honourable Chairperson, my sincere appreciation goes to Deputy Minister Nzuza, DG Makode, Commissioner Masiapato, and CEO Fosi, as well as their respective teams, for their continued dedication to delivering concrete reforms that make South Africa a better country for all its people. I call on every honourable member who wants to see a successful local government election, who wants to eradicate corruption and abuse, who wants to position this ecosystem as an economic enabler that creates jobs, and who wants Home Affairs to complete our digital revolution to deliver dignity for all, to support this budget vote. I thank you.